my name's Dom and welcome to MyGuitarTeacher.co.uk. I first picked the guitar up when I was about 7 years old, so as you can probably tell that was a while ago. I used to play to a semi-pro level throughout my 20s and early 30s, and I had quite a successful teaching practice. But as often is the way, work and life took over and I ended up working away from home quite a lot, so the guitar became much more of a hobby. My career was in corporate learning and development, but more recently I've wanted to get much more back into my guitar playing and take it a lot more seriously. I thought the best use of my time probably was to combine everything I know about learning and development and everything I know about guitars and guitar playing, and try and put the two things together to give people something a little bit more cohesive than a lot of the things that are out there on the internet at the moment. So what I'm looking at doing is putting together a complete program for people from never having touched a guitar through to playing, within a band situation, being able to competently play songs, through to more complex and challenging stuff. I'm a completely self-taught player, but over the years I've come to realise I have an aptitude for teaching myself to do things. I think in essence I'm a good learner. I think learning to do anything, whether it's playing the guitar or any other kind of skill, is something that is internal. Quite a lot of the time the pressure is put on the teacher to teach the student. But actually, if you can learn to be a good learner and learn to be a good student, you can actually become your own good teacher. There's a wealth of material out there. There's an awful lot of learning material. There's a lot of guitar teachers. There's nothing wrong with using any of the different types of learning material that there are out there. But actually, the better student you become, the more you'll pick up from all the different sources. In order to learn anything, I think you really have to appreciate the fact that you're going to find things difficult. You're going to find things beyond your capabilities. I certainly wasn't born being able to play the guitar. I found it incredibly challenging, incredibly frustrating when I was learning to play. Essentially what I'm trying to say here is, however hard it might seem to be, it is possible. I think essentially when you're learning to do anything, a really good rule to have in your head is if someone can do something, anybody can learn to do it. How well you'll be able to do it in the end depends on your motivation, the amount of work you put in. Obviously there are natural aptitudes in there as well. The best players in the world have put in thousands and thousands of hours into their playing to be as good as they are. However, what you really need to bear in mind, I think, is best and most successful. Quite often you don't find those in the same sentence. There's some incredibly gifted, technically amazing players who aren't that successful, and there's plenty of players who you wouldn't consider to be the most technically gifted people who are incredibly successful. A lot of the time there's probably a difference between somebody's musicality and their ability to produce music and to make music and create it, and their technical proficiency on the instrument. I think the standard you want to get to, that is entirely up to you. I think it's perfectly valid if somebody just wants to be able to pick up a guitar, be able to play some chords, use it as a writing tool, be able to play some songs at a pub or in front of friends. Or if you want to take it much, much further and reach the stage where you're playing very, very technically proficient things, I think that's perfectly good as well. Not everybody wants to be on the cover of every guitar magazine. I think every form of learning is valid. For me personally, what I've been doing recently is retracing how I learnt how to play the guitar. I reached a stage where I've been playing for pushing 40 years and I thought I'd forgotten a lot of the people that I used to play with, some of the songs that I used to learn. So I literally started writing everything down. I started listening to all the albums that I remembered had influenced me in the first place. I started relearning to play some of the first pieces that I'd ever learned how to play, just to try and rekindle my own understanding of what it was that I did to learn how to play and retrace my footsteps. I've got it all written down so it's a record for me. But what I've realised from this is I know where I went wrong, I know where I could have saved some time, and I know where I could have done some things better. And from this I've kind of worked out a number of rules, if you like, which if I had the ability to go back to me as a teenager and say, do it this way, this would be how I would do it. My form of learning to play the guitar isn't the be all and end all. You'll see all sorts of people saying this is the only way to learn. There's lots and lots of different ways to learn. This is my approach for me, and hopefully if I share it with you, you'll get something out of it as well. So essentially, this is how I would teach the young me how to play guitar. What I want to do is start right at the beginning, so as if you've never ever touched a guitar in your life before. Take it from the different types of guitars, what all the different parts are called, what things to look for when you're looking to purchase a guitar, and then move through in a series of modules. I'm looking at putting together, say, 10 videos per module, and actually take you through the process and through the steps of how to go from being a non-player through to being a player. Now, obviously, if you're already part way through that journey, going back over some of the basics is always a good thing to do. No matter how proficient you get, it is always really, really good to go back to the very, very beginning. But also what I'll try and do is make sure that the modules are quite clear about what they cover. So at some stage you should be able to just drop in and pick it up from there. So that's the plan. I hope you enjoy what follows. My website is MyGuitarTeacher.co.uk. I should be putting these videos up on there. Obviously they'll be on YouTube as well, so feel free to subscribe to my channel and to share them as well. I hope you get something out of it. If you go to my website, there's a contact page on there as well. Feel free to contact me if you've got any requests or anything that you want me to cover. Hopefully I've kind of got everything fairly well sorted in terms of the numbers of modules. I've probably got a few years worth of work ahead of me now, but I hope you enjoy it. But if there's anything you want to contact me over, feel free to contact me through my webpage on MyGuitarTeacher.co.uk, and I look forward to being your guitar teacher. Thank you very much.